Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Jay and welcome to the Shiplife. So in breaking cruise news, we have yet another cruise ship emergency. This time it's on the largest cruise ship in the entire world, Royal Caribbean's Wonder of the Seas. This ship is currently right in the middle of a transatlantic sailing. I'll give you the details in today's video. Also, a Hawaiian couple say they were recently left stranded in Europe after testing positive for COVID. This is obviously a lot of people's worst nightmare, so we'll go over this as well in today's video. So we have more trouble at sea, and let's be honest, there has been quite a bit of it lately between Odyssey of the Seas. Now we have Wonder of the Seas. We had some trouble with a couple of Carnival ships in the past couple weeks. However, I do believe that we do have to look at the positive sides of things before we get into today's stories. Of course, we have new ships coming out, like Virgin Voyages just announced their 4th ship, Brilliant Lady. We have the NCL Prima, even though, yeah, well, they canceled their inaugural sailing. Still a new ship coming out. We have Carnival. They just announced the Golden Jubilee, which is going to be a new section that is kind of paying homage to the older Carnival ships. All this stuff is great news. And even when it comes to the negative, guys, or something that could be perceived as negative, at the end of the day, we live in the real world. And all this stuff that I talk about here on this channel is just reality. Anyway, we do have Wonder of the Seas, the world's largest cruise ship. I was on that ship for the inaugural sailing, and yeah, there were a couple problems here and there, but nothing like this stuff that's been going on. So this ship is currently en route in the middle of a transatlantic sailing from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, going all the way repositioning to Barcelona, Spain. Now, in the middle of this, there are rumors circulating that there was an incident that happened 24 hours prior to this particular one that I'm talking about. However, I got no information on it. So we do have a 79-year-old English man that had some problems on board recently. Well, this took place yesterday, Wednesday, April 27th. Apparently, this man was having some fainting issues. He was constantly fainting. Now, meanwhile, all on board, the doctors on board Wonder of the Seas observed him, and they decided to ask certified blood donors on board the ship that were passengers if they wanted to donate blood to the man. They ended up getting this man medically evacuated off because this ship was about 400 miles off the coast of São Miguel. I hope I'm saying this island name right. São Miguel Island. It's about, I forget how many miles away from Portuguese. However, it is a Portuguese island, and the Portuguese Air Force were able to send a helicopter out to Wonder of the Seas in order to retrieve the man and get him the medical help that he needs. So he is expected to survive. He's going to be okay. But either way, definitely a scary situation. If you guys have ever wondered what happened in the middle of the ocean, especially during maybe a transatlantic, well, now you know. Now, moving on, I also want to talk about a Hawaiian couple from Oahu, Hawaii. That just kind of rolls off the tongue. Oahu. Anyway, they were on a 10-day Mediterranean sailing going over to, of course, Europe, and they expected to have a great time. Now, while they were on board this ship, the last day before they were going to disembark over in Barcelona, the man of the husband and wife, who is apparently a medical technician as well, tested positive for COVID. Now, this is one of those situations where it's kind of like a gray area. Nobody really knows what happens. And as far as the health and safety protocols that the cruise lines put out, which they often do a pretty good job of making sure everybody's taken care of, especially if they have insurance, they told the man that instead of quarantining in his room for that day, or who knows, maybe even longer, because that's typically how it would go if you test positive at the beginning or maybe in the middle of a cruise, they told him that he would be disembarked and he would be getting taken care of over in Barcelona, because obviously since he tested positive, he could not fly back over to Oahu, Hawaii. I don't know why I like saying Oahu. But anyway, so apparently, at least according to the man, because we don't know exactly, just being honest, how factual this story is. I believe there's always 3 sides to any story. Their side, and the truth. At least that's how it goes. At least, you know, as they say. But anyway, this man ended up, according to him, getting no help whatsoever, not by any staff over at the port, not by any NCL staff. So he essentially, him and his wife, and I believe there was another person that tested positive, they ended up being stranded over in Barcelona, Spain, and not speaking the language. Now, this obviously could be troublesome. I've been to Spain many a time, and yeah, you'll find people that speak English, but definitely a very scary situation. So he ended up paying for 2 nights over at a hotel over in Barcelona, Spain, and then I believe he said 4 days later is when NCO contacted him about everything, the entire ordeal, and made sure that he was taken care of. To him, he says, that was a little bit too late for NCO to be contacting him, because I believe his sister over in Hawaii had been helping him over with the whole ordeal, dealing with the fact that, yes, they're spending thousands of dollars rebooking flights and hotels, which obviously are not cheap. So now you have this whole conundrum, this whole issue of whether NCL actually did the right thing or not. Again, it's a very scary situation, because he says that just according to NCL's health and safety protocol, protocols. Things seemed like it was going to go as planned. However, they're in a situation now where they must now quarantine and again, rebook flights. I'm assuming they didn't book directly with NCL because it will probably be another scenario. However, there is always a lesson here. I know a lot of people like to shout out that yes, you should definitely have travel insurance, which I wholeheartedly agree with, especially if you're doing something like a transatlantic voyage or you are doing a sailing overseas. You definitely should get as much insurance and coverage as possible in the event that something like this actually happens. Now, to my knowledge, the couple is still currently stuck over in Europe trying to figure out what to do, or at this point in time, just waiting out the quarantine. He has been told by NCL that 150% of his expenses that he paid will be covered. But I do want to bring it all to you, and obviously there are a lot of details. I am paraphrasing a lot of this. It was a very long article. However, I will link it in the comment section. I'll pin it in case you guys want to check it out. But let me know your thoughts when it comes to this scenario. Do you think that NCL did the right thing? Do you think that their protocols as far as should somebody get COVID, let's say the day of disembarkation or the day prior, do they really give enough information as far as what could potentially happen should somebody be in one of those particular situations? Let me know in the comment section below. Anyway, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to Disney World for the first time tomorrow. Well, Epcot. I'm meeting with my sponsors, touring plans, and we're going to be cooking up something good for everybody here for the channel. That way I can give you guys as much value as possible. Anyway, on your way out, of course, like I said, comment, hit that like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Join the Shiplife crew. Come have a good time with me. And I post pretty much every single day. I love all you guys, and I'll see you later. Take it easy.